Welcome to amidaedutech.com. Subscribe to Amida Edutech for more updates.
The government yesterday passed two important farm bills in the Rajya Sabha, and since then we have been seeing the kind of political opposition that the various opposition parties have been doing. There have been a lot of concerns that the opposition parties have raised. They say that this is an anti-farmer legislation that the government is trying to pass now in the Rajya Sabha. And the government, on the other hand, has talked about that this is a revolutionary decision, a revolutionary law that will help the farmers in not only protecting their produce, increasing their income, but also empowering the farmer as such. Iyer Saab, we have seen the kind of drama that played out in the parliament yesterday. We are seeing a parliament which is already curtailed due to various medical procedures of the COVID-19. And today we have seen that 8 MPs have been suspended in the Rajya Sabha. The opposition parties tried to raise a no confidence against the deputy chair of the house. So talk about first that the intention of the government in passing these two bills and the kind of allegations that government had to face.
Well, we all know that the government has been committed for a long time to double the income of farmers. And two bills that seeking big changes in the agriculture sector were actually part of the stimulus package, which was announced by the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, as a way to overcome the impact of COVID. Now, these two bills, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill. These two bills are supposed to bring about a big change in the status quo. And what we saw was that the government has been feeling that rather the time is very short, these changes have to come in the agriculture sector so that the farmers get another opportunity and another door or a window to sell their produce. You already have an established system of mandis where the produce are sold at the MSPs, which are purchased by the commission agents and by the government and FCI. Now, the idea is to provide them another platform so that they can sell outside the mandis, outside the Agriculture Prices Management Committee mechanism, APMC mechanism, the marketing mechanism. So this is just to give an alternative. And the second legislation, which is the Farmers Empowerment, the other thing is about allowing for commercial farming arrangements between the agro-business industry and the farmers so that again there is an opportunity for them to increase value for their produce. Because if you want to improve the lot of the farmers, particularly marginal farmers and small farmers, they need to have access to an arrangement which is beyond the mandis, because the mandis will remain. But apart from the mandis, there has to be other alternatives. Now, one alternative is to have giving them freedom to sell their produce anywhere in the country for the best price they get, which is over and above the MSP. And the other thing is to allow for an arrangement between agro-based industries or the agro industries and farmers who can buy their produce paying a price which will be definitely above the MSP. So this is the basic philosophy behind the measure, and the government felt it could not be delayed any further. So therefore it was keen to pass the legislation. We saw a good debate in both the houses, but unfortunately yesterday in the Rajya Sabha, the opposition probably realized that they do not have the number to prevent the government from passing the legislation. I feel they resorted to a kind of unprecedented behavior. Now this shows that the opposition, which said that the legislation should be sent to the select committee and some more time to be taken for scrutiny, etc., etc. Well, they could have made the same argument, and their contention was that chair did not entertain their division, pressing for the legislation put to vote. But you cannot demand press for a division of vote from the well of the house. They should have gone to their respective place. The very fact that the house was put in a state of chaos to prevent the passage of the bill. Now, given this atmosphere, the government did what is best, which is somehow ensure that the House passes the legislation. Because the Prime Minister is in a hurry to ensure that the farmers are no longer further delayed or denied. Because we have already taken a long time to bring these changes. Because every agricultural expert committee which has gone into this, the condition of the farmer has always recommended that farmer needs to get a better price. MSP is a system where a minimum price is ensured, taking into account the cost of production, and we have seen the government has been repeatedly increasing the MSPs. Even today, they have already announced the increase in the price of wheat and some pulses in the case of Rabi crop. So when the government is keen about doing that, the relief comes to farmer early. The opposition wanted to indulge in stalling tactics. which did not happen, and the parliament has passed through legislation. Now the charge is that the government is pushing through this to benefit the corporate interests, so the corporate people will take control. But it is very clear this one legislation provides for an opportunity other than just the mandi, because the mandis will remain. The other is for some kind of a contract farming. Now in both these measures there is no change in the land holding. The farmer is not going to anyway impact his holding of the land. But a campaign has been launched. We saw that how particularly two states, particularly Punjab and more in Haryana, where I think the affected commission agents who buy it from these marginal and small farmers and make a good margin of profit by selling it to other users. They have been upset. They feel that they could be losing, and their political patrons have also been quite agitated, because these commission agents who number more than 28,000 to 30,000 in Punjab, they are very upset. They are worried that this may change their income, it may change their own cut or profit. But the fact is the time has come for these changes. Now how long can we delay this? So therefore we have seen Prime Minister repeatedly assuring that there is no change in MSP. That is, the mandis will continue to sell, and the farmer will get an opportunity to sell outside mandi also, where he feels he's getting a better price. Now this is a kind of scenario. So therefore, in order to send a message, we saw the chairman of the Rajya Sabha today suspending these 8 MPs whose unruly behavior was deeply upsetting and was against all canons of parliamentary behavior until the remainder of the session. But the fundamental point that has to be kept in mind, this is about concerning the welfare of farmers. We cannot take the leisurely view of, this can go to select committee, there can be further debate. See, definitely rules will be framed under these legislation, and we have to see that what kind of checks and balances are kept. Look at the All India reaction. You have already seen farmers in Tamil Nadu are not upset. Farmers in other states, in Maharashtra, they are not upset. Shatkari Sangathan of Maharashtra has welcomed this. The only problem is some farmers in Haryana and in Punjab, they are somehow being misled, or they have some apprehensions about affecting. Those misapprehensions will be cleared if they know that the MSPs will continue, the mandis will continue, and at the same time they will also have an opportunity to reach out to other platforms, free platforms. And as far as the fear of the corporate, I think that is rather being overemphasized, because after all, the corporates will also give them assured utility for the produce, because what is the problem today? The farmer doesn't get the correct price. One second thing, the demand and supply situation is dependent on the vagaries of nature, and you don't have sufficient cold storage chains or the supply chains to completely utilize the produce. So there are times when the prices crash heavily. If you allow some kind of a commercial arrangement between agro businesses and the farmers, at least this will give a scope for greater impetus to double the income of farmers.
When we talk about these two bills, Iyer Saab, if I can name them, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement, the most important bone of contention which the government has been trying to put forth, has been trying to defend, and has been trying to explain even after we saw that there was a big press conference by various ministers of the government yesterday night, which was led by Raksha Mantri Mr. Rajnath Singh, who has been an agriculture minister in the previous NDA government, various other ministers, and today also the Prime Minister, when he was inaugurating certain schemes virtually in the state of Bihar, the infrastructure schemes, 2 points where the Prime Minister has earlier stressed, the government is stressing, is that we are not taking away the MSP. There is nothing to tinker with the minimum support price, which is always the essential component when it comes to farm trading and the government procurement. I think these 2 points, Iyer Saab, the government has been stressing that we are not tinkering, or these 2 bills are not going to tinker with.
There are some who believe that these reforms will result in the end of the procurement at minimum support price. It will lead to closure of agricultural produce marketing committees, APMC, and the loss of farmers' land to the corporates. Basically these are the 3 apprehensions. But we have seen yesterday, as you mentioned, Defence Minister, who was also a former Agriculture Minister, he has been saying repeatedly that the government wishes to assure that whether it is MSP or APMC, all existing systems will continue. And there will be sufficient stringent safeguards will be laid to secure farmers from any malpractices. The reforms will only introduce competition and efficiency and improve the system, because the whole idea is to create a new ecosystem so that we can also, aspire for a world-class agriculture that will benefit farmers first, naturally the consumers, wholesalers, processors and startups. Now, for that to happen, there is already a talk of, farmer producer organizations. That government has been repeatedly saying we should have FPOs. FPOs is actually an aggregation of farmers, which will, once these farmers are organized as farmer producer organizations, it will provide for higher bargaining power to farmers and help them realize the benefits of economies of scale. See, that is a basic thing, because already we are seeing the government has launched initiatives for farmers and agriculture sector, including we just saw 685 crore scheme for formation of 10,000 farmer producer organizations, that is FPOs. And it has also announced 1 lakh crore agriculture infrastructure fund. Along with that, they have come up with agriculture export policy and dispersal of more than 90,000 crore of direct benefit to farmers under PM Kisan. So what is the principle behind all this? The idea is, if eventually our farmers can be organized on the lines of FPOs, that is farmer producer organizations, then they will have some kind of a platform for better bargain. Because this will also allow, what will happen is, if they create these groups of FPOs, then you can see they can enter into agreements with agribusinesses so that they also have access to, technology, alignment, and then variety of mix and quality as per market demand. Because what happens is the farmer produces what he is accustomed to produce, and with that produce he goes looking for market. Now the new arrangement can ensure that farmer is able to produce what exactly the market wants. Because we have seen already how a lot of incentives have to be given for farmers to shift from producing only cereals to pulses, which we have been importing in a large number, because the cereal consumption has not been growing because of various other health concerns. One of the best examples of the successful farmer producer organization is that Maharashtra's Sadri Farmers Producers Company, which has got about 8,000 marginal farmers who are registered under this FPO. And this exports more than 16,000 tons of grapes every season. Now, this FPO is helping farmers enter into MOUs with leading FMCG companies and access high-tech infrastructure. So already we have seen this happening in Maharashtra. Even in Punjab and Haryana, during the pandemic, the farmers have managed to sell outside the mandi arrangement because they were getting better prices. So the unnecessary fear and apprehension and attempt to create confusion among farmers has to be discouraged, because when there are improved market linkages, we will definitely see a shift in what farmers produces. See, for a long time, India has been self-sufficient in many crops, including rice and wheat. But there is increasing demand for pulses, for edible oils. Now, once farmer knows what is the demand for, he can accordingly, the farmer organization can ask the farmers to shift their crop, to go for new crops which are in demand. Otherwise, there is a gap between what the farmer produces and what there is a demand for in terms of agri-businesses. Now, that can be ended if there are commercial contract arrangements between the agro-business industry and the farmer bodies or the farmer organizations or individual farmers. See, with reforms, what will happen is investors can come in, farmers will be able to gather market intelligence to diversify their crop mix, increase domestic productivity. Then wherever we are importing some things like pulses I mentioned, that did not happen because we can project in advance what is in demand, what is required, and farmers can accordingly have sufficient time to change the cropping pattern and the crop also. These changes are going to completely change the way we do agriculture. Just because we have been doing it in a particular way and some people are satisfied with their commission or whatever, that means the system should continue when the fact is our marginal and small farmers are not benefiting at all. So therefore, I think this, beyond the investment in traditional agri-business, what we are going to see is this will drive innovation in the sector and allow new business models to come. So therefore, I think unnecessary fear is not necessary, because India is at the cusp of a new era in agriculture growth. For that, this is a beginning. I think the opposition must also appreciate and understand the urgency of these changes that are needed.
Right. We are looking forward to the political developments and the parliament development that will happen from now on. This will keep on happening for some time, but the government's message on its side is very clear that this is one step which will not only boost the income of the farmers, but also alleviate the kind of problems that they have been having. Thank you very much, Mr. Iyer.
Thank you, Nilabji.
You were listening to a discussion on minimum support price and procurement process of agricultural produce.